All right, everyone, thank you all for being here. We are going to call our February town board meeting. Today is 7 o'clock. And so we will do a roll call.
Yeah. Riddell Kent.
Here.
DeSantis.
Yep.
Camerata.
Here.
Halloran.
Here.
Rivera.
Here. All right. Rise to pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Also, everyone who don't know, this is Chris, who is our one of the members of the duo from Fall River. Thank you. Thank you. Sure. So let's see. Thank you all for being here for our February meeting. Happy Black History Month, everybody. Thank you all to the Highway Department and crew for working diligently and relentlessly during this snow. That doesn't seem to end. So thank you for that. Thank you all to our board members for the continued support for the community and working through new processes and trying out new things. So I appreciate that efforts by all. Our website, we have updated our website to include some more of our documents as well, based on what we've heard back from the community. So on our website, you see more agenda items organized. Thank you all to the town board who have provided minutes for our committees as well. And so we've implemented that. And you'll also see a lot of attachments in the board packets as well that are available for the public. Thank you to our Studio Oneonta students who are here volunteering for this class, who have offered to help record our meetings in hopefully a higher depth accessible format for all. So really looking forward to seeing that as well. February 19th, we have a community visit from Mohawk Valley. That Mohawk Valley Economic Development, they're coming to do a site visit to provide information on possible projects and other opportunities for our town when things come up. Let's see what else we got here. Thank you to Caroline and Trish for their continued work on the West End Development Project. We are going to be putting out letters to the public for their support and participating in focus groups. And more information is going to be put out as well on that. And just more thank yous because it's been great. Thank you to Brett for submitting a grant application to continue work on the West End parks. Thank you for Trish for continuing supporting on several projects, such as the short-term rental committees and then the West End developments work. Thank you to Teresa on jumping right in and taking on the legislative committee and your meticulous detail of the records, and we appreciate that. She's supporting that effort. Thank you for Joe for providing valuable information to the board on some complex projects, and we value your professional expertise that you share on that. And thank you for Chris and Keegan and everyone at Kaufman and Gerhardt for their support, and we really look forward to discussions tonight that the community has really asked us to do on many issues, and including possibly introducing a moratorium on a data center and our first new proposed local law. So we shall see more on that. And so with that, I will open up the privilege of the floor.
Well, can I jump in quickly too? I want to let everyone know our town website now has all of these documents that are up there, applications from applicants for projects, and the town website now has a lot of transparency and things available to the public to look through. So check it out.
Yeah.
See something.
Thank you. And really quick, before got about this part, so I also want to say that we want to put the record our approved vouchers for this month So voucher numbers 2025, dash 792 to 2025 dash 797. That those vouchers are in the amounts of $49,851.41. And then vouchers 2026 39 to 2026 101 is in the amounts of $72,559. And then we have two debt payments that we are doing. One is for the new highway garage interest, $11,970.13. And then the second one is for SWD bond, Southside Water District bond, in the amount of $120,446.14. So that is all I have to items. And really quick before we start with the privilege of the floor, I do want to say it's only 3 minutes, just because we want to ensure equity and fairness, and we ask everyone to be followed the quorum. But also, I do want you to know that everyone here, and not just us, but all levels of local government, should be available to you all the time as constituents. And so these, even though it's just 3 minutes here, you have the opportunity to reach out at any time to any elected to ask them, feedback or provide information. And it's up to them to do that or not. But I do want you to know that you do have the opportunity for more than 3 minutes outside this meeting. And so with that, anyone love to speak in the privilege floor?
Many board meetings over the past 9 months.
George, state your name for the record.
Yeah.
Thank you. Sorry about that.
My name is Georgia Smith. Many board meetings for the past 9 months have been filled to overflowing with people who have made Oneonta their home or place of work. As constituents of Oneonta, we have come to appeal to the caretakers of Oneonta, the stewards, aka the board members. We have come to emphasize in earnest that we do not believe Oneonta Inc. has Oneonta's best interests at its heart. If it did, it would not have offered a series of transparent and shifting narratives each month when addressing the community. I will take this moment to remind you that it is the board's obligation to uphold the town's comprehensive plan, in which it states the town residents want to ensure a balance between economic development and environmental protection in order to protect the high quality of life and enjoying our beautiful natural surroundings. Measures should be taken to ensure compatibility with the environment before development occurs. Safeguarding our quality of life, water, and other natural resources should be of paramount importance in future development plans. Let us consider how Ecoyota's claims have shifted or been contradicted over time. Their energy usage, as stated in their own documents submitted to the town, have gone from 150 kilowatts per year to 3 million, and now is around 300 kilowatts. Ecuyota claims NYSEG told them initially that their operation would not require electrical grid upgrades. NYSEG has contradicted that claim. Ecuyota claimed that their expertise could be trusted because they already had a running a data center in New Jersey, but at the following town board meeting, they said New Jersey project is not yet operational. Ecuyota claims that despite their initial application listing the proposed use as operation of a data center, their business is primarily agricultural in nature. This requires us to believe that the central aim of their business went entirely unmentioned in their initial economic impact summary. And furthermore, if the land is already zoned for agricultural use, why would it need to be rezoned? Ecuyota keeps mentioning their MOU between themselves and City Oneonta. When this was FOIA'd, we saw that hydroponic farming was never mentioned in that agreement and that it only described a collaboration taking place between a data center and the student body. Ecuyota claims that they described their business as a data center in these initial materials on the advice of a now retired code enforcement officer. My partner had contacted that officer and they had denied giving such guidance. During the last meeting, Ecuyota said they had clients lined up to use their servers, yet they did not feel comfortable disclosing those, and they did not list the servers as a revenue source, which I find difficult to believe. I think this is because they wanted to drop the mantle of data center entirely in favor of being an agricultural business, which seems like perhaps it's a convenient fantasy. Ecuyota claims that our energy prices will not rise due to their conception that they will protect our air, water, and other green through using green technologies, and that they will not expand beyond their current plan. But how can we trust them when we feel they feel so comfortable using whatever narrative is most convenient for them at the moment.
George, excuse, sorry.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's fine. I just have a
Appreciate
petition, that I will be submitting to the board. It has around 680 signatures that people want a moratorium vote, against data centers. And, these are the documents that I referenced that the town already has. But there's also a physical copy of the petition, so I'll be submitting that in entirety by the end of the month to the town clerk. But for now, this is just the documents with highlighted information.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Else have anything else for the floor? No, all right, well, thank you all. So now I just want to open up the floor for Habitat for Humanity, who wanted a few minutes with the board to talk about some updates, regarding the amazing work they do for the community that we are so thankful for, and some other proposals for us to consider.
Well, I'm Jerry Blackman. I'm the president of the board of directors for our local Habitat chapter. We call them affiliates. So it's Habitat for Humanity of Otsego County. And by the way, I'm very happy to see SUNY Oneonta students getting a real world experience. I retired from SUNY Oneonta as a faculty member 6 years ago. Not in your department, but still good to see you. A few notes here. I'm here to talk about a new state law. Our state support organization, Habitat for Humanity of New York State, promoted this in the state legislature. It was passed last year and the governor signed it. I'll refer to it simply as the Fair Taxation Law. In case it's not obvious on my handout, this law is section 457-A, the Real Property Tax Law, chapter 50-A, article 4, title 2. And I put that at the top of the handout I gave you. My board met last week. I put this idea before them that it should come before the town board. They were fine with me coming here. Let me summarize a little bit about what we do. Most people, I'm here to say everyone in this room has heard of Habitat for Humanity. But you really know how we do it. There's a lot of misinformation out there. So let me tell you about the mission and our process. And please forgive me if I say things that you already know, because somebody out there doesn't know. We hear this all the time. The goal of Habitat for Humanity itself is simple. Everybody deserves a decent place to live. I mean, everybody in the United States, in the world, we're in 70 countries. This will not happen in my life. But who could disagree with it? How we achieve that goal is the important part. Okay, we build houses, you know that. Our volunteers do the manual labor. We hire folks with big machines to do the really heavy lifting. And I mean, literally, heavy lifting. Excavators to dig basements out, concrete mixers to pour concrete floors into the pits. But the volunteers put the forms together for the concrete and erect the walls on these foundations, put up the sheetrock and all the stuff that goes into a house. And it costs us in the vicinity of, about $150,000 right now to buy the materials and hire those professionals with the big machines. We make no profit because, well, we're a nonprofit organization. Prices that commercial builders are getting include paying their workers and the profit needed to keep them in business. That's one of the differences between their business model and what we do. But here's something that's the same. We sell them. We sell the houses. We don't give them away. We help people get a low-cost mortgage with a subsidy from the state or federal agencies. I like using USDA's Rural Development Mortgage. It's really quite nice for our families. That's what we call them, partner families. We set the price of the house so the partner families don't pay more than 30% of their monthly mortgage or their income on monthly mortgage combined with homeowners insurance and taxes, both school taxes and property taxes. So we choose the partner families based mainly on their need for safe, decent, affordable housing. Their income can exceed a maximum that is based on 60% of the average median income in Otsego County. Well, let me emphasize that, what they paid for the mortgage, that first mortgage, that price that goes on that house is based solely on their income. We make sure that happens, not based on what we spend. So it's affordable. Problem this new state law was needed to solve is that the taxes are not under our control. It was the homeowners insurance. And frankly, things are getting a little out of control. Appraisals are ridiculous. Our little 1,100 square foot ranch houses being appraised for more than $250,000. If the assessments were to match the appraisals, which they don't, our partner families would not be able to afford them, even if we lower the price, because the taxes would be too high. They're higher than they can afford. I just sold a house last week. When I say Habitat sold a house last week, I just did the closing. The tax and insurance part of this partner's monthly payment exceeded the mortgage payment, because this was a single lady who is advanced in age. She's going to retire in a few years. We got her mortgage reasonable, but the taxes don't. And that is despite the fact that our current town assessor, Pam Dingotti, is doing a terrific job. She assesses the houses more fairly than the appraisals. She's not assessing them anywhere near 250,000. Her numbers are more in line with what we spend to build them. I really appreciate that effort that Pam makes to do that. Here's the deal. That's her professional opinion. Fact is, people change jobs. People have life events that require them to move away. People leave their jobs for all kinds of reasons. We don't want to pin policy to a single person as good as she is. So that's what we want to do with the fair taxation law. We like the state law. It provides for low-income home buyers to get exemptions, but the local governing board must opt in with a local law or ordinance for the state law to apply. And I gave you handouts. I highlighted the part that says that, because that's what our affiliate support organization, executive director, told us, that this is a great law. The exemptions can be anywhere up from 25% minimum to 75% maximum of what the tax would have been under the assessment that the town assessor comes up with. So it's quite a good break. That's very nice. But it doesn't work unless you opt in. The state legislature made sure to maintain local control over this. And we would love for the town board, that's a local governing body, to opt into this new state law, fair taxation law. So I'm here today to urge you, our governing board, to pass a town of Oneonta ordinance opting into section 457-A of the state's real property laws. So going forward, our partner families aren't forced into foreclosure as taxes go up and up based on assessments. Thank you. I'll take questions if anybody has them.
Yeah, thank you so much. Appreciate that. The whole board member, any questions?
Are you approaching a school district for this as well, or is it just a town tax?
The school district actually doesn't have to opt in. It's the town that does, because the school taxes are based on what the assessor says. So we're asking you. I hadn't planned on going to school board.
Things are more town board.
Yeah. Yes, they are. But it all comes down to how the house is assessed.
How many houses do you have pending or planning for in the future?
Okay, we have two houses that are just about completed. One on McFarland Road and one in the city of Oneonta on Cherry Street. We have 4 families waiting. We choose families in advance, so in case they have special needs, we can incorporate them into the house plans before we build it. It's a lot easier doing it on paper than after you built the walls. So we're planning in the spring to start the first 2 lots on Richards Avenue. not sure if you know this, when the house blew up on Richards Avenue, the houses on either side were condemned. We bought all 3 lots. And we're gonna put nice new houses on that.
So what's the total though in the town? You have
Total in
something
the
tax
town?
amount of 205.
We
out there.
do, that's where we've been building the last few years. We have 8 of them, currently built and sold. 1 left. It's a 9-house, development, planned development district for that reason. We've been doing this since 1989, lost track, but I think we're up in the high 40s in terms of houses built since we first incorporated.
Well, yeah, that's great. But I'm asking like, how many houses would that affect in the town of Oneonta if we were looking currently? Is it still 40 or? is that-
As I read the law, it's not retroactive, but it doesn't say it couldn't be. I'm not a lawyer. So your lawyer should, look into it and see if the taxes that are on our previous 40 houses, many of which the mortgages have been paid off, would get affected. But right now is when the problem is getting kind of acute. And that's why we want to make sure the families going forward, get this break.
How long do the families, do they stay with the house, you know, if they don't sell it? Or what can you tell us about that you know?
Yeah, oh, that's a whole nother thing. We would love for them to stay with the house forever. We used to actually underwrite, service our own mortgages until the state told us we couldn't do that after 2008. And now they're 33-year mortgages. We'd love for them to stay at least 33 years. But our founder of Habitat for Humanity, his name was Millard Fuller, 50 years ago, realized that this was a perfect opportunity for people to flip houses cheaply. You sell them the house for 1/3 of its assessed value. They buy the house, boom, they sell it in the open market. So here's the way we get around that without our families being disadvantaged. The actual price is the appraised price. The first mortgage that the families pay is the price we set for them. That's how much we get from. The difference is covered by a second mortgage, which we call shadow mortgage. And for every month that the families are current with their first mortgage and not in default, we forgive that second mortgage. So theoretically, you go all the way through the 33 years, you paid the first mortgage off, you haven't paid a dime to Habitat for Humanity for the second one. With house prices going up spectacularly, we've had a few instances in the few years that I have been president of the board where the family, for one reason or another, sold the house. Usually after they've gotten some equity in it, like 10 years worth, what they find is they can sell the house, pay the first mortgage off, and pay them the balance of the second mortgage, because we've forgiven a lot of months by that, and still make some money. What actually has happened, just because the price they can get for the house is so much more than people were getting, say, 10 years ago or 20 years ago. I think it's still a good system. This can't keep going up, I think, as exponentially as they have. And it does require that people stay in the house at least a few years to build up that equity. So they own it. I want to represent, I want to emphasize this. Families own the houses. We don't. We sell them the house. It's theirs to do with what they want.
Do they also get some sort of maybe guidance on how to be successful with their pathway to homeownership, you know, with their, you know, structuring? And do you have something that built into the program? I don't know. I'm just
Really?
here.
People who are familiar with the program will think I seeded that question with you. Sure, it's exactly what we need to do. We have a program where we require that our partner families get the course in home buyers education. We also educate them ourselves. Our building committee chair goes through the house with them every single time we build one and invites all apartment families to get a refresher on this. How do you set the thermostat? What do you do if the hot water heater goes off? All that kind of stuff. He goes over that. And every family gets a support person from our homeowner support committee. And that person guides them through. That's their contact person. If you have a problem, you go to your sponsor. If anything breaks that we built in that first year, we will fix it for free. And even after the first year, people can call us, they know that. And we'll come over, we'll take a look. We may not be able to fix it for free anymore, but we can tell them what to do. How do you get it fixed? Still getting calls from Nick and Jamie in House 4. I was their sponsor.
Very nice presentation.
But thank you. I mean, I can say for many of us in this room and in the community, portability is number one concern. Not just here in our town, but our county, across New York and country. And so, nothing's getting cheaper. But we appreciate everything you're doing. And thank you for doing this today.
I hate to say this, but it's a drop in the bucket.
Yeah.
We really need for government to step up and make other houses more affordable. But we're going to do as much as we can.
And in the future, there's other things as well that we can help you with, possibly. Keep us in mind. I'm sure many of us here would, offer that opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. So committee reports. Again, thank you all for the minutes. Thank you all for that. We appreciate that. So I'll kick it off to highway, water, and sewer.
Great, yep, and our minutes are on the town website now, so for the committee meetings that we hold. First one, the resolution to adopt the mailbox policy. So Chris, I'm sure you read that, and then you don't see any problem with it. We could consider adoption of that policy.
I think it's pretty standard. A lot of it.
Okay. So, does anyone want to discuss the mailbox policy? Any further questions? Okay,
Make a motion to approve the mailbox policy.
sure. I'll second the motion to approve it.
Discussion? No. Clerk, roll call.
Halloran,
Yes.
Del Kent,
Yes.
DeSantis.
Yeah.
Camerota, Rivera,
Yes.
all in favor, motion carries.
Thanks.
Voting.
Okay, also, a discussion on the water rates. So that refers to the Plains, water and sewer rates. So this is from, Nicole, who, made a slight adjustment to the water rates for the Plains district. Residential, the minimum water amount for 37,000 gallons will increase from $387 to $405, which results in an annual $18 increase in the minimum, with an overall increase from 0.0115 to 0.0121, which is 0.0006 cents per gallon. That's the increase for the residential homes. In the commercial building, we're talking about the minimum water amount of 37,000 gallons will increase from $1,158 to $1,273, resulting in an annual $115 increase in the minimum payment, with the overall increase from 0.0313 to 0.0344, which is 0.0031 cents per gallon. And finally, the minimum sewer amount for 37,000 gallons will remain at $318, a slight increase in the overall sewer rate going from 0.0086 to 0.0090, which is 0.0004 cents per gallon. And Nicole added a note, the town is working diligently to try to keep the rates as low as possible. However, enough revenue does need to be generated to cover the annual city water bill and the Plains district expenses. So I make a motion that we approve these, water and sewer rates for the Plains District.
Just the one.
Say one more time.
You made a motion.
I made the motion, yeah.
Second? Second on her motion, on the floor? Joe, discussion? Discussion, all right, clerk, roll call?
Halleran.
Yes.
Rodelcast.
Yes,
Santos.
Yes,
Camerata.
Yes.
Rivera.
Yes.
All in favor, motion carries.
okay, discussion on the Woodland and Hemlock water projects. So I'm just getting up to speed on this better. As I'm learning more recently, so how do we want to, I guess we have $4.2 million from a congressional award that was diverted over to the Woodland Water District, Angel Heights, for pipe replacement, since they've had water issues since the flow was reversed in the water pipes with the change of the water well. And the town has been working so diligently to try to resolve that. And everything we've done, the flushing and, I know Pete Andrews and Jared and Jim, when he was here, everybody worked so diligently. It just is something that is just a chronic problem. So I guess what I'm trying to find out is we have 4.2 million for this. I guess I just need some clarity on how to move forward, what is actually available to us. I'm trying to get a better understanding.
So I'll give you an update on the, just, so both Nicole and, Harris from Seagull Planning are meeting tomorrow morning, regarding the award of $1 million that we received from the county, for housing units, into that part of town. So we're gonna work tomorrow, guard for to whatever million special award. So we have not been able to get access to that information, because the our website is apparently says that it's down because of staffing, because of cuts. And I have emailed and called, and no one has responded. I don't even know if anyone's even working with it at the moment. And so I reached out to Congressman Josh Riley's office, and they are looking into that for us to see if we can get answers on that, so we can start planning next steps. One, making sure that we are following all the protocols before we start spending money, because it's a reimbursable grant. It's not at 4 million right here. And two, to make sure that 4 million is still there, because we don't know the status of that. So actually, it's just.
So we're not even sure it's still there.
It is, they said it will be there till you use it. I marked it, so the 4.2 million, and the 4.2 million is the materials only, draw. So that's what's gonna cover the cost of materials.
Not engineering and so forth.
No,
Shouldn't that be a shortfall? Well, no, the
well, the whole project was gonna be 6.6 million, so that was the materials portion, of the project. Trish, what needs to happen is you need to put out a request for qualifications for engineering firms, and then follow up with the request for proposals. Those need to go out in that order, in order for engineering firms to provide their qualifications, so that's necessary as part of the grant structure, that they're qualified in that type of work. So that's the first thing we have to do. We do have one from Alex Urban Engineering and one from Lamont Engineering, but we need 3, and they came unsolicited. But we have to put it out legally as a request for qualifications first. In terms of HUD grant, the money's there. At least that's what they were last indicated. Empire State Development Grant was gonna be put into that, so that made the 4.2 5.2 out of the 6.6 for the Hemlock extension and the creation of houses. that's tied to that, but that's all part of the bigger scope of the project, so. Long and short of it, I think the engineering part of it is crucial part. That's the person that's gonna manage the project. Go out to, solicit bids for contractors to, we're about a year out again. We should have done this a long time ago. I keep bringing this up, I think, that, someone's gotta take charge. And get the bids for engineering, because that's where it all stands. We can't move forward. And as I can recall, it came from Schumer's office, right? Instead of Schumer, yeah, so I think that's who you got contact. Schumer.
Oh, I thought it was.
It was the Congressman Romero.
No, it's
Right, but Schumer sponsored it.
Right. All right, so I'll reach out to them. Well, I mean, yeah, I'll reach well. But so the problem is that we don't have a copy of any of the grant documents that myself or Nicole on that we're able to access. So we wanted to make sure that we're following the process regarding the required steps needed, the correct language, any other approvals, so that we're not wasting any money or time when we put out the bids. And so as soon as I get that information, we're happy to get that out and to get that moving.
So then we'll know if it's concrete and then we'll have something
Yeah, so that's,
tangible
yeah,
to actually work with.
yeah, I mean, I think Brett sent me like a narrative, he cut and pasted like into the email, the narrative and stuff, but there's no like, within the grants, you always have, the do's and don'ts, and how to use, and we don't have that.
Right, that'd probably be on their website.
Yeah, which just can't get into, so it's down.
Okay, the next one is the same.
Oh, and then,
Yeah, go ahead.
on that, and so, I think also though, part of that is also connecting with the community so that they're fully aware. of
Yes.
us. And so we discussed the committee about, offering a town hall.
Yes.
Uh,
Thank you.
for all the residents over there to ask any questions, on that project. So once we have that information, we'll be rolling that out. And there's also a question about, increasing people's bond payments to the point of, they can't afford it, or, it's not affordable, but also giving them the opportunity to know that if you don't do things now, 5 years, it could be triple the price. And so just giving everyone the information to hear from the board members and other relevant experts that will work on the project, on how to move so everyone has the information there. Joe?
Yeah, that's part of the engineer's job responsibility for the match plan review. And during that process, he conducts, along with us, a public hearing and hear the project. So that's all part of that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we're ready to move forward once I get that,
Right.
so that we all are saying.
And yeah, my understanding is Angel Heights currently does not have a bond repayment because it was, the pipes were put in by the developer. So this would be something new that they would be seeing. Yeah, they should be informed, so.
Yeah,
Correct it.
yeah, in our conversation that
They'll have a town hall.
the committee meeting was that on Hemlock Road, doing it as two separate scopes of work, so that the Hemlock Road is one point in its own district, and then the Angel Heights is one project. Because potentially those in Hemlock Road would be on its own district, and we'll have to figure out what that bond payment is expected would go, so that everyone can, be informed. So that's how we discuss it.
Well, there won't, there is other sources right now, grant funding available. to Bridge that gap. There's a lot of money out there, so in order to avoid a bond payment in its entirety, I mean, you gotta start looking for some of these, there's a lot of grants that keep coming in. That can be see to bridge the gap there. You could do, can't do another federal one, you can't do federally, you do federal state. So you can seek for a state grant.
Yeah.
And then for the Hemlock, you could seek a federal because that part of state goes to state grant. So if you want to completely avoid bonding out at all, it'd be recommended to start looking into other grant opportunities.
Step ahead, you go, that's why I'm glad to see coming on the 19th. Cause they're gonna put us like on a project timeline of like when all these things come up and they'll help us. With all that grant applications, for that project. We specifically spoke about, that water project over there, and getting their support on making sure that. If we do continue the development of that, that is not on the. Thanks to the taxpayers, when we look at other development opportunities, because, we wanna make sure that developers, are paying their fair share as well.
So to clarify, the meeting on the 19th is not just West End, it's about the water.
No, it's the whole town. It's the whole town. Yeah. So it's about, like, of the whole town. They'll basically, talk about like projects, other areas that need development, things like that. Yeah.
Why don't we notice that now? Is it too late to notice that meeting for the 19th? Yeah, that way we can, would you please, Ryan? Yeah, that way if other town board members attend, we don't have to worry about the quorum issue.
Yeah, I mean, we can, and it's on, I know Joe was the only one that,
Yeah.
Joe was the only one who said he wanted to attend, but I mean, we would just make a motion to call it the meeting.
What time is that on February 19th?
At 10 o'clock.
10 to 2. 10 to 2,
10 to 2.
yeah. I know, Teresa, sorry.
Well, if it's noticed in case, yeah, that way we've got that covered.
Is somebody going to videotape it? Or
Probably,
tape it?
we can see what we could do. I mean, it's gonna be,
We can write notes,
And-
Teresa. How about
and then
that?
we're also going to be, we're not staying here, we're also going to like sites. So like, they're doing a tour, as part of that. So like, we're not just gonna stay there and talk.
Oh,
Yeah. So if you want to do that, you have to call, you have to do a motion to.
Sure. Well, right now it's set up with you and Joe,
It's
correct?
just being shown, yeah, so we don't have to call for
And Teresa, you can't, and probably you can't either, Brett, so. February 18th, well, why don't we just go ahead and the two of you can report back to us. Sounds great.
it.
So yeah, I'm not gonna make a motion for a special meeting.
Great. Thank you.
Okay. Let's see. We did items, how about the discussion on the MOU? Okay, so go ahead.
Was the water district stuff that, Jared needed though? The,
No, because we don't have anything yet. He's
okay, I
obtaining,
just wanted to make sure that we.
yeah, he is obtaining estimates, right? So let's see, let's go to approve the revised 2026 highway employee MOU for the final vote. So Nicole tweaked it, and so you all had it, we've seen it, we've discussed it. So this is just a slightly revised version, but for housekeeping purposes, let's just go ahead and approve that again. So I make a motion, go ahead.
Just one question. First, did you look at it?
Yeah.
Does it look good?
Great, so I make,
Sorry.
yeah, no, that's okay. That's what we want to make sure we have everything correct with the attorney. So I make a motion that we approve the 2026 highway employee MOU.
Second?
Discussion.
You want that?
Second.
Seconds. We got a second.
You got a second? I'll second.
Oh, yeah, second, thank you.
So I thought,
Discussion? Paul?
Holler,
Yes.
Rilkins,
yes,
DeSantis.
yes,
Camerota,
Yes.
Rivera,
Yes.
all in favor, motion carries.
Thank you, Dory.
Thank you.
yep. Let's see, take the Pines Valley District. The revised MOU. Let's see. Discuss the engineering for the Butler Street sidewalks. Okay, we've all agreed and the highway committee recommends engineering. So we do need to, get professional, advice. Consultant, we'll have, an engineer do the engineering for these sidewalks because of their nature, of the way they are set up. So we've talked about this at many meetings. so I guess the pathway forward is
You're,
to go ahead.
get quotes or RFP depending on the permit.
Correct, and it's going to, yes, so it would require, in highway committee, Joe did, let's see, we said that we were going to reach out to, I guess we have to do the procurement then. Rather than just go directly, you could just let,
I think at our next committee meeting, we'll have a better idea. We're considering, because we have so many projects that, we'd like to bring it forward that maybe we have, a town engineer, as a retainer for professional services. Because like we got the pavilion going, we got sidewalks going, in, we got, other projects that we might want to refer to.
Mhm.
So it's up for discussion at committee, and then I think when we get it all together, it'd be better to discuss it then. So. Yeah.
so do you want to meet, right, we can also meet and discuss, like, moving that forward, so we could get that established. Okay, sounds good. Yep, let's see, anything else? Cody, go ahead.
Well,
No, no, no.
no, I was just like thinking about the town engineer piece of it, but the also council well, for DM or action or authority or.
Well,
Yeah,
he's here now.
That's the base on what we
So
do.
you think, okay, all right.
Once I have that.
Let's see, also, we talked a little bit about, Cody's interested, well, not anxious, but you're looking at, doing some work on the roads, and you were, asking questions about the tree trimming, on the properties, so you can open up the canopy over the road, so we have the attorney here. Do you want to say anything now, just to get it started, and then you can communicate with Chris?
Yeah, I can communicate with him, at a later date, but, my main concern is to address the problem we have with one of our roads, the canopy overhangs. In order to get that all badly cleared, we would have to access some private property and trees. Just need to know some steps we can take to address that and see if. Okay, so.
So the best way, I guess, that Cody could reach out to you and.
Yeah, he gave me his card and email on.
Great. Thank you. Just want to make sure we do everything right. Cody, do you have anything else from the highway committee from your end that you want to share? Joe? Nothing else?
Just I got a question. What's the status with the, water quality improvement grants for the culverts? Have you made any progress or decisions on how you're gonna handle that, or?
Well, they're underway with the culvert projects.
Correct.
That Barton would do this. Do you, I don't know anything else. Wait, DNL, you're talking about the Blanchard,
No, that's Bridge, New York.
He's talking about the street.
And that's talking about.
the water quality improvement grant.
And there's an extension.
Let's move forward on.
Is it something, Brent, that you, want to, put forward for the next committee? How do you want to handle that? I mean,
Well, that's
because,
not handled, right?
no, but I mean, something that you had underway in the works, or?
Yeah. The money there goes, and you're aware, we had those discussions on that. They're 80% grants, which means 20% match for us. However, our 20% match, Cody believes he could probably do it for less. In maybe one of the cases, but you can decide how someone would go about it.
Is that like an actual award we already have or something you can apply for?
We have those awards,
Yeah, I mean, this is literally the first time I'm hearing about it, so I could,
that was a sheet, okay, gave you all the different things we had.
yeah, the one that I said I never got sure of because the next thing. Well, I could email it.
Well, check the minutes, Brett did it last year about this time,
Okay,
I think, March, it was,
no, that's good to know, yeah, I'll look into it, and see where we're going with that, but also that could be something that we can talk with the town engineer as well, to help assist with that. To we don't, but I will look into all that and give the board all that information.
So the money's there, and those culverts are quickly failing. So,
And I'm not sure which one you're talking about, East Street, yours one you probably had your eye on for the town.
that's the one that, yeah. It's in real bad shape. It's actually collapsing. Jason that did a repair on it already. But by spring, we're probably gonna have some more trouble. So it's something that needs to be dealt with urgent.
So the money that, well, let's just follow through real quick, the money that was gonna go to that, did Lamont, that grant, I think,
Correct.
she put it in.
Yeah.
Were we tied to doing engineering with her due to the fact she submitted that grant? There's no binding. So,
She of course wants us to go through Vermont because then they get their engineering fees. However, our 20% that we'd be paying on her, based on her estimate, I think it's $320,000 or 20%, would be like $80,000 if I'm just throwing out math. Probably incorrect, but, we believe we can do that for less than $80,000. That being said, it wouldn't behoove us to, but they said we could, as you remember discussions, we could do in-kind work for that money as well as expense back, highway department's time towards that grant. So we could be basically reimbursed for them doing the work. And if there's equipment they need, they could be rolled into that grant, which if there's a way to find out equipment that we need that we can share on other jobs or other culverts, that's a method of paying for it or getting the grant to pay for that equipment that we can, getting to keep. So
When were you awarded this? Do you know?
now I'm finished.
15 last,
It's about this time last
Last
year,
year.
because I remember Brett being happy in the meeting because he got the grant. It's about this time last year. I think it's March.
That was my kid.
They did a lot of work on it.
Cody or Joe, anything, or Brett or Teresa? Anything else? Nothing else? Going? Okay, so, let's see, and as always, you did that at the start of the meeting. Thank you to the highway employees on behalf of the board and the community for taking care of the roads, and thanks for all you do. We know you have a lot of work going on along all this winter. The weather's not been a great winter, so thank you all. I guess there's nothing else.
So public safety, there was a, court enforcement update, that was attached to the report, for Clinton. So possible vehicle updates, the past vehicle, the new vehicle has been doing great. I sent the people some emergency services training. Let's say we offer to online, and this topic wants to be more submitted, via an in-person event. So hoping to see if the CEO emergency services could do that soon for us. Preferably after hours, many people that are not meeting our office, and so, after hours, we do that schedule. So, public safety report.
There's one addition to that, a well-known address, 104 Angel. Finally, as of yesterday, maybe this morning, is vacated. Those you're aware, that's been a problem house in the town of Oneonta for 6+ years now. It had been squatted in for almost 6 years. And it's a long process, obviously, very long process, but yesterday was the day of the actual conviction. The Sheriff's Department was there, Jeff, the constable, was there, assisting. He's been there. It's probably been the number one, most visited house by both Otsego County Sheriff's Department and our state police and our constable in the town of Oneonta, and hopefully that has now come to an end. I think the neighborhood and or all of Angel Heights is ecstatic that it's one less thing to worry about. Now they just have to worry about it. So one thing out there, I guess you would say. So that's, while committee might not be a big thing, but if you lived in a neighborhood, it was definitely a big relief to see that finally chapter closed.
Great news. We had a hazard mitigation plan meeting yesterday. Cody and I were on a Zoom with Emily Besselo, if I'm saying it right, Besselo. So you were right, Cody. If we had a couple more people on that Zoom, we could have probably completed all of the information she needed. So what do you think? Should we do set up another one with her and like maybe get some other people, Joe, Nicole,
I think it's necessary for,
to complete it?
everyone has to have his input. Eventually Jarrett and obviously the board should have their input
Jared
as well.
too, yeah.
It's probably best if we can all have it one time,
Two of the other ones.
get it done. I think it would just take a couple hours and it could be done. It's
By the end of the month too, for our copy, and then, end of the month, then it goes live at the end of March. Yeah,
Because we have to get the done and trying to reach out for months, previously, to get that done. We could attempt to get that done by the end of the month, we could potentially not be eligible for FEMA funds. It's one thing. I'll help with that. So maybe I'll coordinate like a group thing in here where everyone can just talk to it.
thanks. You could put her on the screen. I think she's from Pennsylvania,
Okay.
so she would be remote.
Savvy, minutes?
Okay, I just got one today.
Yeah,
I really like this report from Clinton. This is really helpful.
good, thank you.
You know, it keeps us up to date what's going on. There's just one question I have for Chris. Did you look at it by any chance? Is there any information that could not be on these reports for confidentiality is the only concern I have.
Oh, no, that was the application piece for NARCOT.
Because this is posted online too. Right,
so I'm not sure if I saw that.
okay. Would you like this one?
I can take a look now.
Okay.
Yeah, I can get, Clay and I, worked on this update so that everyone is aware of it, so. Anything else? Teresa, Cody?
We covered a lot of ground in legislative committee. Agenda was 2 pages long, and I think we went for an hour and a half. So I made detailed minutes. They are online. If anybody wants to read some details, I'll try and keep it short. Tried to divide things up. So I put from the legislative chair. One of my passions is town record keeping, including laws and minutes. And I noticed on our town website and the E-code, the town's E-code, which is, there's a link on the website, that the laws only go back to 2006, and then there was nothing before that. So I already started working on getting laws up to the town's website. Department of State has some of our town laws back to 1998. So I'm working on the low-hanging fruit first. They've already got them scanned in as PDFs, 98 to 06. And then Ryan and I, town clerk, are going to meet on Friday and try and just get a feel for what's left in the records room, see how the rest of the laws are they bound, are they in binders, and try and just rough idea, game plan of scanning, and so they're OCR readable, because the E-code is wonderful as a database, and it is completely searchable. And second item on that, this is recommended by Office of the State Controller and Association of Towns during the training I went to this morning. Work on locating, organizing, and updating the town's policies and procedures. So that's something that I'll be working with Nicole and as we get that massive policies and procedures, put together, the ones that we were supposed to have done, we will, forward, through the legislative committee to the town board to take a look at. And there's also recommended policies and procedures. So we'll just do it bit by bit and work through it. And, next item was, review the proposed local law number 1 of 2026. Trade chapter 65, the town code professional consultation fees. This was presented to us by our new town attorney. And we came back on that and saying, there was agreement from committee members and attendees that meeting that should move forward to the town board level. So I believe it's on the agenda for tonight. And then our other items. And there is one thing missing, which I would like to add to my minutes, just a brief sentence from the town board of ethics. The town board of ethics did meet. It was their first meeting in many years, I believe. And they produced some brief minutes. One of the items in their minutes was recommendation to the town board to adopt the model code of ethics for local governments. That's the model code from the OSC. But at the time of our committee meeting, we hadn't seen a draft copy of that. So I just want to pop that into the minute. So, and then in our legislative committee, we also took a brief look at the request from the Oneonta veterans for local law regarding amend the real property tax law for real property tax exemption for veterans that have a 100% service connected disability, and also Habitat for Humanity. And so I did detailed minutes because so we could take a look at this over time. With both these items, we this is legislative committee, so over a week ago, we wanted to check with the town attorneys on this. It was decided that we needed more information and more time to review these two requests before a decision could be made. We talked Elizabeth Kramer and Nicholas Weir briefly. Again, we concluded, and it's good reading, guys. Fine. It was recommended that the application be thoroughly reviewed by the codes office and further details be requested by the codes officer regarding the specific use of the property proposed, to have detailed site plan information. Also, legislative committee would like to have the town attorneys further review this application and the recommendation. And we didn't have it in front of us in the meeting, but I did go through planning board minutes from last year, and I made an insert of the planning board's discussion of the application.
So since you're talking about, hold on a minute, let her finish and then.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll just whisper this, because next item is short-term rental task force. And I'm just gonna mention, we did get going, we just had a meeting. Was that last night?
Yesterday, so yeah, I'll update on that too.
Right, so
Sounds good.
Chris will take care of the update on that, so we did get going with that. And we're almost.
And then it's running together, Teresa.
That's right, you know, I'm always in a meeting. So, and then we did have an item from a citizen, I believe he's here, Mr. Dave Kane, reminded the town that, he had presented in the past a petition, regarding, regulation of campgrounds in the town. He's asking us to consider revision of the watershed overlay district law, and add a section perhaps prohibiting the establishment of campgrounds within the watershed overlay district. He also mentioned perhaps considering prohibiting or regulating other uses in watershed overlay district. He recommended that the legislative committee and the town board review, and town attorney, right, review the watershed overlay district law and consider those above proposed considerations. And he did also ask about And this is, what happens when, documents are submitted to the town through any of the boards, from citizens, how are the documents retained? And, what is retention time? So that's something, we should be looking at, in the coming months, I'm sure.
Any further treatment?
No,
Thank you so much for your detailed, that's really appreciate it. It's a lot of work.
I like writing minutes.
No, it's so helpful.
Hard to do them so quickly, but
Yeah.
it's good it's good to do them.
Great attention to
Thank you.
detail. I also,
So hold on, yes, we'll go to the left, sorry. So then now I just want to give the floor to Chris regarding any discussion on ticket applications.
So, as we discussed, I think this was January 29th
For the,
for the memorandum.
yeah, whatever we have.
Yep, so I think it was around then. So when we discussed in that meeting, we talked about putting together a draft, version of the law. So we have it here, and I can pass copies down, and also with that is a draft resolution introducing it. All that resolution introducing it is, if you decide to move forward with it, this just provides the opportunity to set it up for a specific date to have a public hearing and have further discussion.
So let me, so for me, to just clarify this, this is you're proposing a resolution introducing
This is
a proposal. It says affecting temporary moratorium on development, construction and operation of data centers within the town of Oneonta.
does you have enough copies of it?
I should have enough copies. Let me know.
Awesome. Thank you.
I think Teresa.
I got it. Yep.
Right, all favor?
Electronic is best.
So if you, what, if you want to talk further on that?
Sure, so the general idea is, moratorium creates it's written like, so obviously this can be changed, but right now it's set for a 1-year prohibition on the construction, operation, and establishment of data centers. So if you flip to the second page, you'll see a definition of data center. And it's defined to cover sort of your general idea of what data center might be. But like we discussed in that meeting, there are certain exceptions, being for health medical services operating pursuant to a municipal certificate of need, educational services for municipality or political subdivision, functions of government for municipality or political subdivision, and then for data center facilities that will annually consume or be projected to consume less than the specific kilowatt of hours power that is currently left going.
So I'm trying to understand this, so this resolution is just to introduce a proposed law, this isn't the final.
Correct. So this resolution would just, it says here that we'll be setting a date for a public hearing to discuss this.
To discuss the moratorium?
This draft version, this proposed.
So then in the meantime, if we have comments on this, would you like us to share those, or do you want us to wait for public hearing?
You can wait for public hearing. You also do not have to do this today.
Right.
I mean, I'm not comfortable with the resolution, we just got this today.
You don't have. You certainly don't.
Okay.
Yeah, this is
Well, I would like to put a motion on the floor, introducing this proposed law on the basis of the community fighting with the board and applicants over the 600 signatures on it, and hopefully provide clarification on any of these proposed subjects regarding this issue, so that we can finally address this and take our time and do our legislative duty to do what's right for our community. So I will place this motion on the floor and ask that we look at calling a public hearing to further solidify this.
Well, I would second that motion because I've been looking into and requesting a public moratorium on this kind of related activity, so I second the motion.
I don't know how we make this motion right now with just getting
But
this
it's
today.
introductory.
We were not.
I understand that,
Saying-
but everything that we've said, that you've said since you started, is that we gotta have this in advance. Friday's the date, previous to the meeting, so we have time to read these things previous to the meeting, and here we are getting this at the meeting. And we wanna make a resolution.
I got it as well today, right now with the rest of you all, and I based on urgency from the community, I asked the board to consider it. You obviously can vote no on it. But I think we can at least do our due diligence to, do our due diligence to move forward with it, get all the comments and feedback and take our time. The community has spoken up on this issue and we need to take a stance.
Chris, is this an effective way to kind of close the loop with what we've been dealing with? Is this you know, with
The
the
moratorium itself.
proposed, the proposed development?
This would provide you the opportunity to take the time to study what you have going on with your current zoning code, your local laws, and figure out what's gonna be best for the community, and figure out what's best for how you can go about tailoring your current legislation, figure out how it can best benefit people, the community, the zones, and all that. So this just builds you in a year of work.
Nice, okay.
I just feel, I mean, disagree with something, I just need time to digest this, and if you're forcing my hand for something I don't know. I just got this today. I mean, it's unfair to do, you could do a resolution, but then it looks like I'm not in favor of something. And I might be, I just don't know. It's just unfair.
Well, but I also think though, that I think you're not, this is not saying that the moratorium is going to play. Yeah, and listen, I got it, I was just ready to go with you, and I just be hearing. And we all have heard the same feedback, and I think out of urgency, it gives us a whole year potentially, to do it, and, this is, you know, not an issue that's going to go away, you know, just from this one applicant, and so it gives us the time to do it.
I hear you. But again, I'll say this at this meeting. I urge us to be cautious, do the things in a timely manner, but be smart.
I mean, I think I would refer that to our
You kind of run before you walk.
But you also mentioned that you were interested, if the workshop meeting, you had public workshop meeting, that you mentioned kind of close the loop on the current thing that we've been hearing out.
Correct, I understand.
Right, so I think that this is what Chris is saying would do that.
But their application is already filed, so this would affect them. You can't retroactively.
I mean, I would ask
just
the council on that, to answer that, so.
say whatever I want, you can ask them. The thing is, what I'm saying is, if we wanna just outlaw it, let's just outlaw it, right? I mean, this moratorium, there's probably nobody for it anyway, so it's really boiling down. I think we've done a straw poll on this board and nobody's for it, so, in terms of the data centers, not having it, so why don't we just make a law and outlaw, if that's what you wanna do?
I mean, if that's what the board, like, if you're happy to put it, take back my motion and put that forward. But I would say we should still do it and take our time.
I think you still need, I mean, I'd like to read this. I mean,
So will I. I mean, I just got it, but I think if this gives us the time and to move it forward. And this was all discussed at the meeting as well.
proposed law, but this is the first time I saw the law.
None of this is on the agenda. I appreciate our town attorney. But
Yeah, I get
yeah, nothing, it's not on the agenda, and I mean, I need time to review. I mean. I got time to review.
Listen, that's fine. You know, I'm one vote of 5 here, and there's a motion on the floor, and so it's up to you all to decide how you want to move forward.
So, but just so, I mean, you're sure there's not a disconnect. Chris, you said this is a way of the current applicant, the current application that the board's been dealing with since last May for an AI hydroponic, facility. This is a way of bringing resolution to that too. Okay, so I think, Joe, just making sure
And I think also that.
Can we
Sure,
can we make a motion on that project and vote on that project alone? I mean, let's just put the bed in.
let's use the legal counsel though, let's.
Not, I'm asking them.
Yeah, I mean,
So can you repeat the question?
So that's a separate issue. If you have an applicant in front of you, can't we just vote on, we deny the special, the request for a zoning change?
Legislatively, that this is a means for you to take your time and evaluate the big picture of it all. But
Yeah, just, we have an applicant in front of us. I think it's a disservice to just,
I mean, I think that's what you're confusing is that this is not focusing on the application. This is only focusing on data centers and
it's an
that's,
application on hold, right?
I mean, I would ask him.
yeah, I just put it on.
Why put it on hold? Just take a vote the way you want to vote and be done with it. And if you want to look at this law, that's fine. We gotta have some time on this.
I mean, this is just recommended by Chris now. I mean, I'm happy to, the motion on the floor. We can
That's fine.
roll call.
In a second, let's go.
I did second, but
Okay.
where did we,
Then Brian's got to call the roll.
Discussions.
Any further discussion? Teresa?
No,
No.
and it also, I'll add further discussion. It probably is a boilerplate. I haven't, gone through this either. It's probably boilerplate residential moratorium.
Yeah, it's very similar to what a lot of other towns do for data centers. The main difference is, from what the discussion was based on certain exceptions, the ones I read.
Well, I'm gonna stay with my second that I made because, I felt like this is the way to move forward for a long time. So thank you for the draft. Okay, so I just wanted to say that.
For anyone else? Any discussion? Not first? No? Roll call?
Howard,
No.
Wilkins,
Yes,
DeSantis,
no,
Pamrota,
No.
Rivera.
Yes.
Motion.
so how do we move forward, Chris? The board reads this, the board will read this and then we put this on the agenda for next month.
For next, in the meantime.
Yeah.
Mhm. So Chris, other legislative items that you wanted to talk, that we talked about workshop?
Can we go back over the three things that, Teresa mentioned, starting with the local law?
Yes, well, let him finish his list and then we'll go back to.
So other than that was just the professional consulting services.
Okay, all right, yeah, so,
So,
all right, yeah, so we're going back to that, to the roll call.
I just want to make a comment. I know that this town is trying to work together to get the agenda out, I think final agenda on the Friday before the meeting.
Mhm.
But as a board member, as a new board member, when we have our final agenda, I think we should stick with that agenda item. And I mean, unless it's an emergency threatening the town, in which case we would have a special meeting.
Yeah, I mean, everyone did,
Stick with our
Yeah.
agenda.
everyone got their minutes in on time, everything was up, on Friday, so, that was that, but, as we all know, we all just got this, and for me, it's an urgent, request from over 600 constituents, that's, hold all of us accountable, and, just doing my legislative duty to bring a motion to the floor.
Thank you, thanks for doing that.
Brett, you want to go back to,
Yeah, well, no, it's just, those are the three things, Teresa mentioned, and, they were obviously discussed in committee, but I think needs to have a larger board discussion, starting with, the local law. Adding a new chapter 66. 65 number. So is that something we want to discuss? I know we had some questions.
Are we open for discussion on that law?
I mean, there's no motion on the floor, we're just still talking about it.
Right, so let's talk about it.
So the first sentence, upon request of such, or such request, town supervisor shall determine whether to approve the use of professional consultant services and establish an escrow account. I don't think it should just be one person. I think that should be a board decision.
I mean, I have no.
Yeah, I think it should be a board decision.
Chris, is that, how would that other municipality?
So I would say it's, I don't want to say majority, but it's not uncommon to have that way, but certainly there's not one size fit all for this type of a local law, so however you want it, we can work it and tailor it.
My concern would be that, if it's just one person, and I'm not saying girl, you do this, so I'm not putting.
No, I mean, honestly, I had nothing to do with that yet, but go ahead.
But, if someone is personally against the project, then they could say, well, we could help this project not happen by assessing them that, so. I think a broader board decision might be important, and I think we have to have a little more wording about what would trigger, what is the trigger? Guy wants to build a house. And you say, well, we need to hire professional consultation on behalf of the town, and you've got to put in X amount to this retainer amount, that might just stifle. Then they say, forget it, I don't do it, I'm not doing it. So how are we gonna decipher, the habitat project? You can say, well, that's more than one house, they're potentially doing three. You're gonna have to go on and put a retainer with the town, and they're gonna do a study or do whatever professional consultation necessary to see if that can fit in that neighborhood and this, that, the other thing, and that might be too much for their project. So how do we? I agree that it's necessary, because we've had instances where it was necessary, and we have used it in the past. However, how since we're doing this now legislatively, how can we better draft that?
So right now it's a may, it's not a shall, but we can further revise it from that specifics on how you want to do it. We can change it to have more definition versus it being, if you're thinking this is a little too vague right now, and change it to have a better defined set of qualifications that would force someone to fall into this.
Right. I mean, I'm just afraid that smaller projects somehow get tripped up by this, and we want encourage people to invest in our community, obviously in the right way. However, we don't want to, scare them away right off the bat, which could happen.
Yeah, so that's something you want to change, and we certainly can.
I would look into. I don't.
That's what we can come up with some, change it, circulate it.
Otherwise, did you see anything else? Good.
I know the important thing for me, I mean, I'm happy to, and as long as we're contributing, but it's just ensuring that taxpayers, are being over to the extra expenses, like, so, I think that's the most important key that we're all on the same page about.
No, protect the community.
Yeah.
But we don't want to graciously people from doing things because they're afraid of potentially this retainer amount that they may not have. And so people, doing something out of it.
Yeah, I mean, happy to put all of that.
I think that's why I'm more open to a board vote on that. Not just this board changes. It's different, I don't think it should go. And we have done this in the past. I mean, we've done. I think Habitat actually we did that somehow. And so we got paid this past year for that for can't remember, 10 grand, I think. Here is the rate, then we got to repay 10 grand for the water. We started out with 5. They used it. Incurred more engineering fees, got another check from them. I think it was well over $10,000. Hotel projects on South Side. we retained engineering for that. So we have done it in the past, it's just more clarification. The current E code was under telecommunications, and that was what I sent everybody. That was our basis for the code department to work off of, you know, and there was some good one. Wasn't pointed towards, you know, I'm just looking at the text, I just don't want to redo redundancy.
So could be thresholds, could be square footage, dollar amount, you know, I mean.
Yeah.
The projects in excess of $1 million or whatever, or 10,000.
I don't know, we got holding the bag on a project that was kind of small, we got stuck with, Jordan, what was it,
Yeah.
3,000?
Well, that was with the estates, and that was actually quite a large project.
Yeah, but what,
So I don't gotta do,
but we did 3,000 on the engineering and built it back, we didn't have anything to protect the town.
I think we put that against the taxes.
I hope so. I don't know if we did for sure, but I don't know, it seems like a good tool they have on hand, so.
But that was a big project.
Yeah.
Out of the senior living community, so that was 50+ units. So that would definitely trigger. But we foolishly did it at that time.
We didn't have anything like this, right? It was a lesson we had to learn. But I
Moving
think it's a useful tool.
forward.
Okay, perfect. That's all I have.
Yeah. You
I think it's a great idea.
do you have any more questions on
On this, I don't
that?
know.
No. Teresa, any questions?
No,
Well, the next thing on that, if we're going in order, I guess, would be, the application we have Elizabeth Kramer, who's here in attendance.
Chris, do you have anything to show you're able to share on, can share on that? Or?
We would wanna get back, so we can get you something in writing, probably next week or so, with a little more detail.
What exactly are we, I mean, they've put in their application, they've met the town board. They've met now with code on multiple occasions. I've never experienced in this time, us kicking this can down the road so much and almost refusing to give them any kind of answers or information. Now I know you just came out of council, so it's not directed at you. They want to help, basically based on our recommendation, hanging full the bag, without giving an answer. Which I'm unsure why. I mean, it's just like at Toyota, either let's vote or not. We have the opportunity to say we disapprove their project. In your case, we have the ability to vote. It's not a, he's asking me to go to election. So. Not really sure what to hang its hats, and I'm sure they're waiting as well, patiently, at best.
Yeah, I mean, so two things for me on that or anything is like, as I said before, we are all legislators, people are asking for law changes. And one, you are allowed to take as much time as you need to do that. And two, the board, previous board, you know, essentially told someone, possibly that they can buy a property without further approval of it officially. And so that in itself is a problem, in my eyes, and I hope in the eyes of the constituents as well. But I would say that, you know, hopefully Chris can provide us that feedback as what next step is. That we had talked about this in virtual meeting, and we were waiting on that. And I usually there were several emails back and forth of them changing their projects within this past week, and so the last one was maybe this morning, yesterday morning, and so I don't even know if we even review that yet. But there was some back and forth on what they needed to do or not do.
Can you just explain what the problem is? I mean, Joe, Trish and I have all sat there, met on multiple occasions. They simply wanted to know if they bought the property, if this was a possibility, and he says, yeah, based on the information we have. what would be, I mean, that, they were doing their due diligence. They did their due diligence in every way, shape, or form. So that's where I'm confused. I mean, more so than most people. So that's where I'm just asking where the problem is in that.
And they did do their due diligence, but also I felt like the lack of legal representation, we didn't really have eyes on it, but now we do, so. That was something that was absent from the,
And they were looking at it, I can get my sleeper in, but then there were several emails this week of changes, so I don't know if that changed what they were working on, maybe in the attorney for the town, as well, so. I don't know what they were doing.
General reaction on the application. Right, I mean, the application's the application.
They did change, I saw they did change it. But from what I understand, they want to revert still back to an RE40. The zoning change hasn't changed. It's just the direction of the property has changed. They want to do a use permit for short-term rentals, house they currently bought and live in, correct?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think it's just straightforward. But it looks obvious that we don't want to do any zoning. So,
I would like to see it pass muster with the code office and attorney, and then I would go on and support it. But I just, for me, I just want those steps to be completed.
what would you support? You just said support what?
If it passes muster with the attorney and the code office, once those things are complete.
What do you consider mustard?
Well, once it completes the process, because
What's wrong with having the attorney take a look at it?
No, there's nothing wrong.
that would be very helpful.
So we'll get on that and we'll send you an email. But it's-
Yeah, that would be nice to resolve it, yeah.
And there was a change, I don't think, but was able to have corrected feedback on the last email that we received, so, we can go on for this, just so we know. Did you want to talk about your short-term rental?
Yes, I did wanna, yeah, I did, so, we just met the core committee just briefly yesterday, we were able to get a meeting in. Our meetings will be public from now on, but, this one was just the core committee, there was no quorum. So, Teresa, myself, Jenny Kane, Reggie, was not able to attend, but she had, helped do some of the language. So we established a goal for the short-term rental committee to ensure short-term rentals contribute positively to the town of Oneonta's economy and visitor experience while preserving residential quality of life, neighborhood cohesion, and access to long-term housing. I'll give dates to Ryan to post, for when we'll be holding our meetings, which will be open to the public, to post on the website. I sent the notes to the town board last night. There's just questions for the application to bring on 5 members from the community. And those questions are pretty straightforward and they'll be on the website as well. And we would like to get the applications back by March 15th. So we can move forward. Okay, so just test the town board website for meeting postings. Okay, and they'll be on a rotating, a regular rotation. First Tuesday, 5:30, and third Monday, 5:30. Twice monthly, working towards a deeper dive to satisfy. Yes,
Those questions, are they gonna be reviewed by the town attorney?
I will send them over, yes. Yes, just general questions, name, address, phone number, their community affiliation, just for the committee members that we would bring on.
Better than questions and stuff.
I'd be happy to send it to the town.
If you're all working on that, you share.
Thank you, yep, and so like we said, now the meetings will be posted and you can, come in and attend. Oh, want to include Carolyn, Williams now, or want us to attend, want to put that in now? What we've been working on, the grant award, Carolyn, not to put you on the spot.
Oh, yeah, I think, do you want?
No. Want just a short,
Yeah, so, we are waiting for a final award, notice, from the state, on the award to essentially, kick off, focus groups and data gathering, for a project called the West End Development, where we will be essentially getting, feedback, hiring a consultant, and gathering community input, to create a West End Development Zone, which will provide us the opportunity to have all of our basis for what they call a New York State DRI, so downtown revitalization initiative. So now this year is the first time towns are eligible to apply for that, and so we are going to get ready to apply for that in hopes that we can be selected out of the 10 applications, I believe, 5 to 10 throughout the state. So letters are going to be going out, and notices, for those who want to support, during the focus groups. And then once you get the final award, it's going to go to, do the process for RFP or procurement of a consultant.
Yes. Carolyn, do you want to add anything, Carolyn? You've been great to keep us on track.
So I provided language for a draft letter to go to property owners that are within the area of the West End, just make them aware of the project, and then we'll be working on the RFP language so the board can review. And hopefully have all of that stuff set so that when the state contract comes through, it can go out and we can get started.
Thanks so much, Carolyn. Well,
What's the deadline? Is that July, August again?
It probably is, and I think we, depending on how far along we are, I don't think we need to be finished with the project to put in the DRI application. I think we just need to be far enough along with the specific projects that are within the West End for property owners to be.
Thank you.
And then between, Carolyn Hill, and the Mohawk Valley Economic Development Fund, I see go planning is already, for that application. I do want to ask the board if we can consider during the legislation for next items, not for today, but for possible. I drafted a resolution, that basically is strongly urging an immediate review of electric delivery charges, demanding improved cost controls and transparency, and authorizing formal complaints to the New York State Public Service Commission regarding the escalating cost of electricity. And so I just did this, honestly, this morning, not introducing it or anything, but I'm just sharing with the board that I will share with Teresa in hopes of that we can, get that, introduced. And what that's calling for is really holding, NYSEG accountable, based on, I'm sure each one of us have complained about our electric bill. And it is a constant conversation wherever we go. And though we may not have control over the commission, we certainly can, stand with our community and let them know that we understand and we'll do whatever we can as elected officials, to hold those accountable as well. And so just sharing that information so we can look at that next time. So Teresa, I'll send that, to. Anything else on the legislative items? No. All right. Facilities, tax and parks.
Chris, thanks for all the work. Appreciate it.
So we're on to the agenda items, we have discussion, on the municipal parks and recreation grant submission. We had a discussion about it, it has been submitted. The municipal parks and recreation grant, this is the second round, they put out. I applied on behalf of the town for money to continue work on the Greater Plains pool and park project there, which we hopefully include the taking up a splash pad and pickleball courts. This was the second round of the grant. We already did the hard work in the first round. We were funded for that particular grant. However, we had all the documents and documentation, so it was not terrible grant submission. as goes for grant submission. So cross your fingers for that. Great to be funded. Town pool update, Joe, anything specific?
We got about 3 foot of frozen water in the bottom of the pool. That's fine. Soon as spring this year.
We also discussed, we have an engineering proposal, from Alex Herman, excuse me, for the Horton Park Pavilion replacement. Joe, you got that? It was the sum of, $6,000, for his professional engineering services to replace the Grove Pavilion in Horton Park, which is in disrepair. Received money, for that from anonymous donor, in which will provide, enough money to tear it down and replace it with a new structure. He provided an estimate for engineering of approximately $6,000. If that's something we want to discuss tonight, approving or.
Well, never see the vote.
I don't.
We can provide, that's something we have to discuss tonight.
Yeah.
That's just something we had in discussion.
Can you share the proposal and then we can?
Yeah,
put it up?
we sure can. The next item is, we received an estimate from Otsego Telephone to replace some of the aged town phones, which would be any ones that are white, like this. There are 7 of them. They don't all need to be replaced right now, but they submit a proposal and the total amount for that was $2,925. That again is just something for consideration. They don't all need to be replaced immediately, but that was the total cost. If it's something you want to consider, they do work. They just aren't. Brian, could you speak to it at all, or?
They don't provide call log information. They don't provide,
Color.
really important, I mean, stuff that we need to like, caller ID is a big part of it too. So I think just kind of updating the phones would be a big benefit to everyone.
So, again, like the proposal for this, it's something we should further discuss at the next meeting. If everybody is interested, we have to, it's not a budgeted item. So we'd have to look for money, within the budget, in order to do this.
Real quick on that, do you think we could like identify, and I can talk with Nicole as well, but like which are the most important ones to do, or?
I think she's working with a court too.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
We might get someone to.
Yeah.
Court system.
Yeah, we were talking about that, and so that could be, that should be covered.
So I don't know where it stands, but I think she's working.
All right,
So that's just more information, stuff regarding our facilities. It's nothing we have to act on because they do technically still work, but it's something we will look forward to, potentially replacing probably in the next year, 6 months. So that's on our radar, and if we were to come up with money or see extra money in any budget code, it's something we might want to consider.
Well, do you know how old those phones are?
No, they're varying because if you look at, well, any phones that are black are the newer ones. If you go into, for instance, the Nicole's office, there's one that's a varying color of this, it's yellow. Start off as white, and as you know, white plastic as ages turns yellow, so you can kind of go around and look and see which ones are even older.
that one looks way like the oldest.
So I do not know the age.
Okay.
Otsego Telecom is who services our phones. So while on the open market, you probably get that phone for cheaper because they're programmed and tied into our system, you have to kind of go with them.
Right.
So there's that. And the last thing is we did not receive this yet, but if anyone's noticed that our record rooms has been open, the door normally it should be a locked room. However, the colder days was freezing. We have radiant heat. It was brought to our attention that when they put this in, they used water and not glycol, which obviously will freeze in extremely cold temperatures as we had. So I put in a request for an estimate to have that water replaced with glycol, which probably should have been put in there day one. It's made it this long, but, that would stop the problem of floor freezing and any potential damage, right, because of that freezing cracks or, so, we're gonna be getting an estimate for that. It has not.
Thank you.
That's all I have for that.
Anybody else have anything additional? Sure.
Okay, Joe? Yes, I do. That committee, generators for the pump stations. We're working on 3 proposals. Pump stations need a backup generator, which is part of what FEMA plan to do, and it's been noted. So we're working on that, so hopefully by the next time, we'll have some figures proposal for that.
Well, thank you for putting Joe.
His mitigation plan will help, so maybe we can look at the funding for that.
Yeah, no, that's good, thank you. Anyone else have Eamon, myself, Ted and Tammy Harris and Tammy Reed, all met regarding a AARP grant, to potentially add, or provide funding to add into the current items that are cited for that. And so we just had an initial meeting, and so we're going to try to work on submitting the grant, but we all feel it's very easy to do. And so thank you, Ian, for working on that with us all. Appreciate it. So I'll keep you updated on the progress of that. Anything else on those items? You already did your course. Appreciate it. I appreciate the minutes as well. Clerk's report.
So we've concluded our first month of tax collection. We've succeeded in funding all of our budgeted line items, so we're fully funded. It's just trickling in now, so we'll conclude collection at the end of April, and then that will then go to the county. I do have 2 items here I would like to present to the board for consideration. There are 2 applications for alcohol sales from 2 businesses that locally operate. One's a potential business here that wants to open up, but these are ostensibly formal. It's a formality, a 30-day notice that they need to provide the town that they're applying for a liquor license or beer. Daniel Marino is of Tino's fame, I suppose. He wants to reopen the Pizza 23 West, and he's asked for a waiver of the 30-day notice period so that he can move forward on his application, sort of expedite that. But I have 2 here, one from Azul, operating in the mall, and the other for 23 West. So I would ask for consideration from the board that they would waive the 30-day notice period, and if there are no objections to the applications, the applicants may proceed.
Well, I just want to, I would say that based on, current conversation, that if we, the board may want to, would have the opportunity to review that further, but I would leave the floor to them.
Once again, if it's not cold, catching you off guard, is that something that you have any problem with the board doing, or
Waiving it,
waiving it? With their-
you can, it's not a regulation.
And Will, what did you say? What was it?
No, I would just think that, people may want to have more time reviewing it, so I was just letting it provide such a number of days. Over.
Just seeing it tonight, I don't feel the waiver period should be waived.
I would agree with Teresa as well, so that people. There's one.
Motion? No? We have. I guess my question is, in this case, what will be,
Ostensibly, I mean, it is a formality. The process goes through the state liquor authority. It's just notification that they're applying. So.
what we know, like people around them, or? is that-
No, I don't believe that's part of the process. No. In fact, they provide a ostensibly, what the, provide a sketch plan of the restaurant. And the codes has already been probably through some of these places, and a lot of these businesses, if they don't already have one, or had one, like they've already been licensed, the premises have already been licensed previously by prior owners or operators. So, it's basically just a new application. New application.
Ryan, is the 23 West, you know, it's open and going, up and going?
Well, they're in the process of purchasing the property. It's in a state at the moment, so they're dealing with that. And, they wanted to get it open for the coming season, the summer season. So that's why they wanted to ask for a waiver. But I don't know if anyone knows Daniel Marino, but he's operates Tino's, I believe, down there in the city. So they've been, in operation for a while. These aren't businesses that aren't, here excluded, but Azul has been operating for a while too.
So that waiver just really helps them speed the process up.
That's all.
I mean, it's up to the liquor authority, I believe, right?
Right, ultimately, the liquor authority will decide whether or not they're granted a license. We can just.
A year or something, I think.
Yeah. Take up to a year, maybe more, and you can go for a temporary permit, and that's usually 90 to 120 days.
So we're waiting on. Decide that. Break out. Well, that's my question. What are we? I mean, in case of, in the instance of this law, I want to be able to read it. And understand it and kind of have some time to sink in, excuse me, but this is, we're just.
So that's just there is the application there, basically, it just explains the,
No, that's what I'm saying. This is just straightforward. I'm just trying to discern the difference. If this is just kind of a straightforward situation.
and mind you, the 30-day notice is only for new applications, unless the laws changed very recently. When renewals aren't required to do 30-day notices, but this is a new application, mind you, so that's why there's a 30-day notice period.
Ryan, do we have any idea how far along they are in the purchasing process?
This one here, no, I did speak to them this morning, as a matter of fact, I was given this morning, that's why I thought I'd bring it to your attention now.
I see there's stairs are not shoveled on it.
Yes, well, the former owner, so it's not currently being occupied.
Yeah.
So they're in the process. I don't know how far along they're.
Yeah.
I'm not part of that discussion, so.
So, really quick on this one, for Azul, they, like a city.
Yeah, I know.
So I would say then they would have to fix their application.
Yeah,
It's just my,
yeah, that's certainly something I need to.
so I would say that in itself. Refer that.
It's my understanding that notice is a formality, but I'm going to look this up to confirm that there might be enough, an opportunity for the municipality to submit some document to the SLA after the municipalities review input from reviewing their notice.
Yeah, and then on this first one from, Dan, he doesn't own the property yet, correct?
You're right.
Correct.
So I would say then
Right.
he should, you should definitely check in, but I would think that you would need to own the property first.
Well, the SLA would certainly make that determination, whether to award him the license based upon the fact that you own the property. So,
Yeah, they're,
no,
One, but this one says city, the other one says city.
yeah, I think that's just,
It
yeah.
wouldn't be uncommon to have this contract contingent on getting either a temporary or permanent license. So they might have signed an agreement, but they might not actually close on the deal until they obtain whatever license they put in their contingency.
It's kind of like the representation clause that they're, you form, the representation form, when you do the zoning amendment.
yeah.
Yeah.
I've never had any experience with it, so I'm referring to, our legal counsel.
We're firsties on this, so.
Under distress.
So I'm going to make sure that that is an opportunity for the town board to be able to provide their opinion to this. I think there is, but I haven't looked that up to be certain on.
I say we leave the 30-day notice as it is, that way we have time to look at it. Along with the town attorney.
You don't need a motion to the process for it, so.
We do.
Let's do it.
Agrees what?
So Brian, they just have to put.
We'll fix that.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ryan.
Can you scan and send those to us?
Yeah.
We can take
I
a
will.
peek.
Right now.
Sorry.
Also, thank you. Brian, do you have anything more further for you to report?
No, that concludes my,
One thing for a follow-up, will you follow up with them to change that application for the town voting on it?
right, I think that, yeah, there's that common misconception there.
So you're gonna follow up on it?
Yeah, I'll follow up.
Thank you.
Thanks, John. Board of Ethics Committee update. Dale, would you mind, or would you, share with your,
There's really not much to update. We're waiting for attorney review and hear back from the other. On our meeting.
yeah, I mean, one, I want to say thank you for having a meeting and, solidifying the process and giving people the opportunity, to come to the meetings or ask questions or whatever. And really just moving it forward. So I appreciate your leadership, Scott, and everyone, all your committee members as well. So thank you for that. Appreciate it. All right, now we have our county representative here who would like to provide his monthly report.
Sure, yeah, some of this stuff is redundant at this point. Hello, everybody.
Maybe.
Good to see y'all. A lot of this is just from the committees I'm on, trying to cherry pick from other committees that I think is relevant. And you already mentioned electricity, natural gas costs. That's really kind of hitting a crescendo right now. I know Oakland's super aware. Cincinnatus as a town just put out a resolution this morning where they announced that they're going to put out a resolution where, the resolution was basically just like, we're really angry and we are going to seek justice, but it was at least like an action. I thought that was kind of interesting. It was the first one of its kind. And then I also included in the link, if you do get access to it digitally, just an article that I found on it. Department of Health, County Health said that flu levels are 5 times higher number of cases right now as there was last year. And they were just like, I think we're all experiencing this. I just got over like the worst sickness of my life too. And so they said, get your flu shots. If you haven't got one, it's not too late. Flu season is not over. That was pretty alarming. COVID cases are kind of spiking a little bit too right now. On Seago DSS, this was a piece where cold snap is over, but we could get another cold snap. They did want to make sure all municipalities are aware that their ambulance and their like 911 local service does well checks. So big thing, if you know, especially an elderly couple, you haven't heard or seen a car move for a day or two, just call the county. It's like a service they provide, and they will go do a well check and just make sure things are going well. Let's see, and also if someone in our area that doesn't just their heat is turned off, they also do have lights too. State septic program, has anyone talked about that here? No, okay, so there's a state septic program. I can't remember the exact name of it, but the goal is to get failing septics improved if they're near water bodies. So if you're within 250 feet of a water body, they will give up to $10,000 or 50% of a replacement. They'll do 75% on engineered septic. This is a lot. You know, like sometimes an engineered septic with engineering could be like 30K, right? So anyway, they posted it online. I have like a little link there on the application process. They did just add new water bodies that are showing up in the town, especially Oneonta Creek, and then Susquehanna. So again, it's 250 feet within one of those water bodies. And if you think you're close, they recommend calling because they actually have a little bit of an exception. So like, let's say you're 500 feet, but you're near the, like, closer to the floodplain and your septic is probably leaking at fluid more into the stream, they can make exceptions. So it's a pretty neat program. That covered. Solid Waste Committee, I was really delighted because forever I was told that all of our recyclables are just getting put into a landfill. It was really nice to hear that we actually have 2 local vendors for our cardboard and our glass. I wanted to report that out. That was really exciting for me. So encourage recycling because it actually goes to some local vendors. And we're looking for someone, apparently there's a further vendor that uses a process the old mattresses too that we all sell. So it's kind of interesting.
Did you say that the recyclables that we're cleaning in plastics are going into the landfill? No, they're not.
We're going somewhere.
Going somewhere.
I just think that the cardboard and the glass
Yes.
are actually getting processed locally.
Love it.
And so we have like vendors, we sell it directly to them, and that's really neat.
I'm glad you clarified that.
Plastics. This is the glass. Yes. And then the cardboard is up north. I can't remember the vendor. I'll ask them. I have a meeting. But most of the resolutions we passed were pretty unexciting. This kind of like maintenance, replacing vehicles, getting generator parts, things like that. I've started along with town supervisor and also, you know, I met with Caroline. I met with a lot of people, Terrell, to talk about trying to get a indoor recreational facility in the town of Oneonta. I know since I've moved here, everybody's talked about it. So please, if you do have insight where you're like, even you're just the wrong tree, just tell me so I can like get off the high horse. But I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna try to push for it. There's definitely some sources of money out there. We're gonna go visit the new center up in Canajoharie and talk to them. And they have a really nice multi-use facility. I think that's the big pitch. I met with Tammy Reed, Office of Aging. Like, if we can have a track, people are, you know, walking the track. Well, sports teams are using the, you know, make it a really multi-use facility is the key. Then you can access grants all over the place. So I'm going to go hard on that. If you have any insight, please reach out to me. And then the last statement was about just, I didn't think I would get here on time to talk to y'all. I had my school board meeting tonight, but I would love if there was a way to stream these meetings or like at least just post the town meetings. I saw the cameras, so this is again maybe irrelevant, but yeah. Any questions for me? Anything you want me to bring back to the county? Concerns?
When are you gonna go to, Canajoharie, make a site visit?
I don't know. It's gonna be on a Wednesday in the future. Next month or so. And say I talked to the facility director there. He said Wednesdays are Tuesdays. So would you want to go up?
Friday is free, so where is it located?
In Kansas.
You know where?
Behind the Arkell Museum.
Oh, he was the sponsor too.
It's behind it?
Like, as you're driving on the thruway towards Utica, the Arkell you'll see first, and then right behind it is the rec facility. You can see it from the thruway.
Do you mean where Beach Dot was?
Nope, on the west side, not the east side.
Oh, okay.
Dating yourself saying that.
And yet I still do I'm dating myself.
No, thank you, and I know indoor facility is the talk we want to like.
Yeah.
Because the for their kids or ones, yeah, that'll be awesome.
Well, I need sports post-COVID is seeing a huge boom, and there's just a lot of money in youth sports right now, even more than there was prior to COVID, so I think it'd be a big pickup. Thank you.
Well, thank you really quick. Thank you for always keeping me updated and like working with together when other applications or meetings come up and sharing. So thank you for that. All right. Yes. All right. I think the only other matter that needs to approve payment bills.
I'll make a motion that we approve payment of bills and transfers.
Right.
I'll second, except for all the salt and all the other expenses that we have today. There's a lot. There's a lot.
Is that on your official budget?
Attorney's bill this time, you know. I'm going.
Standard, it's standard.
No.
Is that a second?
Yes.
Okay,
A second with distress.
Yeah, no. A lot of
Under protest.
Yeah. Discussion? Good, more discussion? Good, roll call?
Halloran,
Yes.
Riddell Kent,
yes.
DeSantis, Camerota, Rivera,
Yes.
motion carried.
I open the floor to privilege the floor again, please, 3 minutes. And if anyone would like to share, now it's time.
Hi, it's Kramer. Just want to express some dissatisfaction with the board and the process that I've been through trying to pursue rezoning of my property. An application that seemed like a very simple process that we submitted back in October at the meeting that we were told was going to go to public hearing has now been put off for 5 months. Every time we discuss this with someone, we're presented with a different jump, which is probably why there's been some confusing communication. Additionally, I sent an email on January 15th requesting that we be placed on the agenda for this meeting. And we were not on the agenda. I've been sitting here for over 2 hours with my topic. And I don't understand why we weren't placed on the agenda to be able to help this process move along. Finally, Mr. Rivera, you responded to none of our emails that we sent to you. And it was just disappointing to hear you speak dismissively about the final email that I sent 2 days ago, not this morning and not yesterday, but 2 days ago, providing absolute clarity about what we want to do, which is a pretty simple request.
No, thank you, and appreciate that, and appreciate you sharing that with me, and for me to just reply, there was sharing it through the correct processes, set to codes and legal. And so as much as I would love to be open regarding pending processes or legally, I have to just abide by to do to protect the town. And so thank you for sharing though, and thank you for staying here, and your frustrations are heard, and we're hoping to get you next steps in the deal.
Yes, there's two questions about the short-term rental task force. Will there be related to those questions? Are they going to be established next to the public task force meeting or outside of that?
Well, say the
Questions for the application to be part of the committee? Are those questions?
We were thinking of putting the questions for the applications to go online live on the town. I'll send them through the attorney, and the board has them, and then I'd like to get them on the town website. But they're pretty straightforward, Melissa.
They already formed. What's my question?
Say again.
You've already decided what those questions are.
Yes, we've sent the questions, yes.
And will there be a formal scoring rubric related to each one of those 5 questions to evaluate each committee to decide who is the best choice related to?
You're ahead of me. We didn't assign scoring to that.
So how would you do?
So the questions are name, address, email, and phone number. Why are you interested in serving on the short-term rental committee? Please describe your interest and perspective. So Chris, I'll send this over to you again in writing, but Do you have any experience or background that would be helpful on the committee? Examples may include housing, planning, tourism, business, neighborhood leadership, or related experience. Disclosure, do you have any financial or personal interest that may be affected by short-term rental regulations? And are you willing to review materials, participate in discussions respectfully and collaboratively? Oh, one more, community affiliation, part-time resident, full-time resident, property owner, long-term renter, business owner, just to get an idea of affiliation.
So they're subjective, so it's not gonna.
Say that again, there's,
So those are all subjective questions.
correct.
So what I'm saying is effectively, you're gonna subjectively fix them all.
Well, it's always a challenge to go through these things, like selecting one years ago comprehensive plan, right? I wasn't on the board then, but
No, I'm just asking them.
yeah, I guess just want to, we're just doing the deeper dive. It's like I needed something. Anyway, we're just doing my due diligence.
Well, I'll just give you back like extra time for the, go ahead.
Oh, that's okay.
Oh, no.
Oh, I'm sorry, I got lost. Right.
Just email with some thoughts about how to do that for the sort of for consideration.
Yeah, so Ryan, I'll ask Ryan to put that on the website. He had no time to do that, so I'll ask him to put that on, give it to the attorney to make sure there's no issue with my questions. The questions, okay. Thank you.
Anyone further? Okay, here we go. You believe that, did anyone else have anything else for the board?
Oh, David Kane, you mentioned the petitions. I located those in the electronic form. So I've mailed those to the other board members. You collected signatures, 800 signatures for, to about campgrounds in RA40. So I did locate the petitions. I told you I would do that. I found them and I emailed them to the top one. Today,
Yeah.
so, sorry, and I think you guys, Brett had them, I need to send them over to you, Joe, as a new board member, yeah. They were.
Trish. Ryan, do we know where the paper copy of those petitions are?
For petitions?
This is,
Dave's, yeah, there's a binder.
Dave Kane,
Yeah,
about 2 years ago?
Yep.
Okay,
there's a binder in my office.
all right. That's cool.
Okay, yeah.
When you brought up the apparently disposed of, it's hard to tell because we got an answer despite what the request was the 27 town resident submissions to the zoning board of appeals in regard to opposition to the proposed campground on Lower Razorville Road. Those were the petition, or those were the submissions that apparently disappeared. There was also, well, that was a little over 2 years ago. If you need the exact meeting date, I can get.
David, I'm not even sure I saw those
No, of course you
either.
didn't see those because they disappeared.
Disappeared. Is that anything that you have still, like, just say it now for the record, you submitted.
The only way we would be able to get those would be to find every single member who made, who submitted something, for every single town resident who submitted something, and try to get them, if they happen to have a copy of it at some point. So those are official submissions made to the zoning board of appeals, and those are well written.
So they wrote individual letters which were compiled and handed to that.
People made statements, and then they submitted written copies, in some cases additional materials beyond the 3 minutes allowed to speak. And all those materials, despite the word request, and that, Brian's not, I'm not, asking you on this, this had to do with, I think, the process related to that board.
Were they given to Laura Souse to
They were given to David.
to Dave Brody and then?
They weren't given to the town board? No, that was so there are those submissions, other submissions on a different meeting were given to the town board. there were also people who spoke in front of the town board on this matter, but that was an entirely separate occasion. So for those we have, but the ones that, as far as I know, I mean, we never made a FOIA request on those. I mean, we never made, those are not, I'd have to review what materials were, were supplied by the town upon request, but I'm pretty sure that those were. I'm talking about, there was the CPA.
So you filed a FOIL request, but didn't get the information?
We had that as well as requests from our attorneys. The case was, I say held up, but we tried to get the judge to get them from the town. The judge couldn't get them from the town anyways. They just moved forward with the case. I understand. And that's part of the reason I didn't pursue it. But what I'm saying is there's a citizens of the town submit materials to a board such as the zoning board of appeals, and then expect that those materials are going to be retained, and then they disagree. That's what I'm saying. I brought that up in the context of I would like to see procedures established for all the boards in which these materials are held with the degree of, I guess, importance that the citizens place upon them when they submit them on a board, and they're retained in the appropriate manner. And that, that's the issue.
Yeah, thanks, David, and I hear your frustration as well, and so I would ask, Chris, if you have like any drafts of others that we can review, and work off of, as a board to, codify that process or, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, and Dave, speaking to that, with Nicole and I working on gathering all the policies and procedures for the town, and conjected with our town attorney, hopefully we can put that into that group for review.
Okay, so our open meeting portion is done. I do believe we did receive a request for executive session, so I will allow the board member to officially make that request.
Make the motion.
Yeah, thank you.
Motion to go into executive session. And here's to discuss personnel matters, or do you want me to go in for the detail?
First one.
So you could say something along the lines of discuss employment history, financials, related issues.
Motion to go into executive session to discuss the employment history of particular town official.
Motion for a second.
Second.
Any session? Roll call quick.
Howard, Holler,
Yes.
Belkent,
Yes.
Santos,
Yep.
Cameron,
Yes.
Rivera.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thanks for
Thank you.
coming here.
So, so the two other, Sudi Oneonta, friends that came and help us out, appreciate you all both. So this part of the meeting can't be recorded. So if you all wanted to pack up, we can wait for you all and finish.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Shut up when they check.
Well, you're, right? So, of course, we'll have to get a little more detail.